What if the solution to your financial struggle was not found in more work, but in a single sentence, written millennia ago, capable of changing the very frequency of your mind? Imagine for a moment that the endless cycle of effort, the constant chase for security, is based on a flawed premise. We have been taught to build our fortunes with our hands, through relentless action in the external world. But the true masters of prosperity, the architects of enduring wealth, understood a deeper truth. They knew that reality is forged first in the unseen realm of thought, that the material world is but a shadow cast by the light of the mind. This ancient sentence, hidden in plain sight within the book of Proverbs, is not a piece of religious advice. It is a spiritual technology, a precise formula for retuning your consciousness from the frequency of lack to the undeniable vibration of abundance. The wisdom of King Solomon, a man whose name is synonymous with unimaginable riches, was not based on economics or trade routes alone. It was founded upon a profound understanding of universal law, the divine mechanics of creation. Centuries later, a modern sage named Napoleon Hill dedicated his entire life to a singular quest: to decode the mental software of the wealthiest and most successful individuals of his time. He sought to create a science of achievement, and in a stunning convergence of timelines and traditions, both Solomon's ancient spiritual insight and Hill's rigorous mental science point to the very same foundational principle, encapsulated in one specific verse. This is not a coincidence. It is a confirmation that the key to mastering your financial destiny has been available to you all along, waiting to be rediscovered and correctly applied. This journey we are about to embark upon is not about motivation or positive thinking in the way you have heard it before. We are here to decode a powerful command, a spiritual decree that activates a dormant power within you. We will unveil how this single line of text from Proverbs, when seen through the lens of Hill's philosophy, becomes a tool for building a mental fortress. A fortress that not only attracts wealth and opportunity as a matter of course, but, more importantly, actively repels the chaos, the anxiety, and the persistent problems that have defined your financial reality until now. Prepare to receive not just information, but an initiation into a new way of being, a way where you are no longer a participant in your economy, but the master of it. You know that feeling, the one that arrives in the sacred stillness of the night, long before the sun even considers its return. It is not a noise that wakes you, but a profound and heavy silence. An inner alarm sounds, and instantly, your mind is flooded with a cold dread. The mental ledger opens on its own. The mortgage, the looming bills, the unexpected expense from last week, the frightening uncertainty of the next. This 3 a.m. meeting with anxiety has become a familiar ritual, a solitary burden where you wrestle with the ghosts of scarcity while the rest of the world sleeps. It's a silent battle that drains your energy for the coming day before it has even begun, leaving you to face the morning with a soul already weary from a war fought in darkness. This feeling follows you into the light. It's there in the hesitation before you check your bank account, a moment suspended between faint hope and familiar disappointment. You recognize that subtle tightening in your chest, the bracing of your spirit for what the numbers will reveal. More often than not, they tell a story you already know, a story of relentless effort met with insufficient reward. It's the harsh reality that a month of your life, of your precious, unrepeatable time and energy, has barely been enough to keep you afloat. How many times have you stared at that screen, feeling a profound disconnect between the immense effort you expend and the meager results that stare back at you, judging you in cold, hard digits? You are not lazy. You are a diligent student of the gospel of hard work. You have risen early, stayed late, taken the extra shift, and made the responsible sacrifices. You have followed the rules of the game as they were taught to you. Yet, you find yourself on a treadmill, running faster and faster, only to remain in the exact same spot. The scenery of your financial life refuses to change. This is a unique form of exhaustion, a spiritual fatigue that comes from pouring your life force into a system that seems designed to keep you perpetually striving, but never arriving. It is the quiet desperation of knowing you are giving your all, only to feel like it will never be enough to truly get ahead. Does that quiet voice of frustration ever speak to you? It whispers in moments of solitude, asking, "Is this all there is?" It questions the value of your sacrifices when the promised security remains a distant horizon. It is the feeling of being a ship, powerfully built and ready to sail, yet perpetually anchored in a shallow harbor by invisible chains. You see other ships sailing out into the vast ocean of abundance, and you cannot understand what holds you back. You have the engine, you have the will, but the anchor of your financial reality remains stubbornly lodged in the seabed of limitation, preventing you from reaching the prosperous destiny you feel you are meant for. This constant state of financial tension is more than just a matter of numbers. It is a thief of life's joy. It forces you to live in a state of perpetual calculation, where every decision is filtered through the lens of cost and affordability. The simple pleasure of giving a gift, of planning a vacation, of pursuing a passion, becomes tainted by the shadow of financial constraint. Your mind, which was designed for creation, for peace, for divine connection, is hijacked and forced into the role of a worried accountant, endlessly crunching numbers and forecasting deficits. This mental burden is heavy, and it robs you of the most precious commodity you have, your inner peace and your ability to be present in your own life. You see the passage of time, and a deeper, more primal fear begins to surface. It is the fear of arriving at your twilight years, not with the serene peace of a life well lived, but with the same gnawing anxiety that plagues you today. The terror is not of aging itself, but of aging without security, of having your dignity subject to your financial circumstances. It's the deep-seated fear of your final chapters being defined by dependence and worry rather than freedom and fulfillment. This is the ultimate cost of your current struggle. Not just the lack of comfort today, but the potential theft of a peaceful tomorrow, a fear so profound it often goes unspoken, even to yourself. And so, you carry this weight. You present a capable face to the world, managing your responsibilities, but inside a part of you feels like you are failing at a fundamental level. You might even feel a subtle sense of shame, as if your financial situation is a reflection of your intrinsic worth. You wonder what secret you are missing, what piece of the puzzle others seem to possess that has eluded you. This feeling of isolation is perhaps the cruelest part of the struggle, making you believe that you are alone in this battle, that your situation is a unique and personal indictment of your abilities or your character, which is a lie designed to keep you trapped. But what if this pain, this frustration, this deep ache in your soul is not a sign of your failure? What if it is a signal, a sacred invitation from your deeper self, crying out that you are using the wrong tools for the job? You have been trying to solve a spiritual equation with purely material methods. Your struggle is the undeniable evidence that the path of mere physical effort is incomplete. This profound dissatisfaction is the necessary catalyst for your transformation. It is the very pressure that will force you to seek a higher truth, to finally turn away from the common noise and listen to the ancient wisdom that holds the key to your liberation. For your entire life, you have been fed a single story about wealth, a story that venerates brute force effort as the ultimate virtue. The chorus is familiar, sung by well-meaning parents, teachers, and financial advisors. Work more hours than anyone else. Cut the small luxuries, for a penny saved is a penny earned. Put your money in a savings account and let it grow safely. This advice is not malicious, but it is the very architecture of the prison you find yourself in. It is a philosophy built on the foundation of limitation and fear. It teaches you to play defense with your life. It instructs you to focus on not losing rather than on powerfully winning. This mentality, this unquestioned gospel of grind and sacrifice, is the common enemy we must now expose, for it is the direct cause of your exhaustion and the invisible ceiling on your prosperity. The fundamental flaw in this approach is that it is entirely focused on the external world, while completely ignoring the internal cause of all external effects. Strategies like cutting expenses and working longer hours are actions of constriction and desperation. They are born from a mindset of scarcity. When your every thought about money is about what you lack, what you cannot afford, and what you must give up, you are conditioning your mind, your creative center, to operate on the frequency of not enough. You are, in essence, praying for more lack. The universe, which operates on the law of resonance, can only answer this prayer by delivering more circumstances that match your dominant vibration. More unexpected bills, more frustrating financial setbacks, and more reasons to feel that you are perpetually behind. Let us now draw a line in the sand. On one side lies the path of effort, the path you have walked until now. It is the path of pushing, striving, and struggling against a current that seems to be perpetually against you. On the other side lies the path of alignment, a path that very few understand. This path recognizes that true creation does not begin with action, but with thought. It is not about working harder. It is about aligning your inner world, your beliefs, your assumptions, your frequency, with the reality of abundance you wish to experience. It is the shift from being a victim of your economy to becoming the conscious creator of it. This is not a passive approach. It is the most powerful form of action, for it addresses the cause rather than wrestling endlessly with the effects. There exists an ancient text, a collection of principles so powerful that it has survived for millennia. Many have come to see this text, the book of Proverbs, as a simple collection of moral advice or religious poetry. But that is a surface-level reading that misses the profound technology hidden within. We must approach this book not as scholars, but as engineers of the soul. For this is not a book of rules, it is the world's first manual on the art of the mastermind, a practical handbook on reality creation, bequeathed to humanity by a consciousness that had achieved unparalleled levels of both wisdom and material wealth. Within its chapters lies a code, a precise blueprint for structuring one's inner world in a way that makes outer abundance an inevitable consequence. We are here to retrieve the master key from this sacred vault of knowledge. Among the hundreds of axioms on wisdom, discipline, and right living, there is one directive that stands above all others as the cornerstone, the central command upon which the entire system of prosperity is built. It is found in the 4th chapter, the 23rd verse, and it reads, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." For centuries, these words have been interpreted as a gentle, metaphorical plea to be mindful of one's emotions. This interpretation, while well-intentioned, has stripped the verse of its incredible power. This is not poetry, it is physics. It is a precise, technical instruction delivered with the utmost urgency. It is the fundamental law of manifestation, presented as a direct command from a master who understood exactly how reality is constructed from the inside out. Let us now unlock the true meaning. In the language of this ancient wisdom, the heart did not refer to the sentimental organ of emotion. The heart was understood to be the core of your being, the seat of your beliefs, the gateway to your subconscious mind, and the wellsprings of life. The phrase translated as "everything you do" refers to the totality of your manifested experience, your health, your relationships, your circumstances, and unequivocally, your financial condition. The instruction is therefore a stunningly clear piece of mental technology. Your primary and most crucial task in this life is to stand guard at the door of your subconscious mind, policing every thought and belief that enters, because that inner world is the one and only source from which your entire external reality, whether of poverty or of prosperity, will inevitably spring forth. Let us now begin the sacred work of decoding. The first and most critical component of this divine instruction is understanding the true nature of the heart. As we have established, this is not the seat of fleeting emotion, but the ancient term for what Napoleon Hill would later identify as the subconscious mind. Think of your subconscious as a plot of fertile, sacred ground. It is impossibly rich and holds the potential to grow anything, from the most beautiful and nourishing fruit to the most toxic and strangling weeds. Crucially, this garden has no preference. It will diligently grow whatever seed you plant in it, without question or judgment. Its only function is to accept and to create. For most of your life, you have unknowingly allowed this sacred garden to be seeded by the winds of the world. A stray comment of doubt from a family member, a headline of economic fear from the news, the lingering memory of a past financial failure. These are the poison seeds that have been scattered into your subconscious. Because you have not been guarding the garden, these seeds have been accepted, watered by your attention, and have grown into the thorny weeds of your current reality. The instruction to guard your heart is therefore the call to become the conscious, master gardener of your own mind, to finally take control of what you allow to be planted in this miraculous, creative soil. This brings us to the first great secret of this verse. Guarding is not a passive or defensive act. It is a powerful, deliberate, and offensive act of selection. It is the conscious decision to stand at the gate of your mind and act as a sovereign authority. You, and you alone, get to decide which thoughts are granted entry. Imagine you were the guardian of a sacred temple. Would you allow anyone covered in the mud of the street to simply wander in and desecrate the altar? Of course not. You would stop them at the door. Yet, this is precisely what we have allowed with our minds. We have permitted thoughts of fear, doubt, and limitation to enter, settle, and contaminate our sacred inner space. The act of guarding is the practice of becoming this temple guardian. When a thought of lack or worry appears at your mental gate, and it will, for it is a habituated energy, you do not fight it. You do not struggle with it. You simply and with calm authority deny it entry. You observe it, acknowledge its presence without emotional attachment, and state with inner conviction, "You are not welcome here. You hold no truth for me. My reality is one of abundance and divine provision." This is the first step in reprogramming. It is the conscious interruption of the automatic negative patterns that have been running your life on autopilot for decades, a powerful reclaiming of your mental sovereignty. Let us use a metaphor from Napoleon Hill's world. Your mind is a bank And your subconscious is the master vault where your true wealth is stored. Every thought you think is a deposit. Thoughts of faith, abundance, and success are deposits of pure gold that increase your inner fortune. Thoughts of fear, anxiety, and scarcity are counterfeit bills. When you allow them into your vault, they don't just sit there, they devalue the entire contents. Guarding your heart, then, is the act of being the meticulous bank manager who inspects every single deposit. You refuse to accept any counterfeit currency, ensuring that only pure, golden thoughts of prosperity are allowed to accumulate in your vault, compounding interest over time. This inspection process is a moment-to-moment discipline. It requires you to become a vigilant observer of your own internal dialogue. What are you telling yourself about money right now? What conversations are you entertaining in the theater of your mind? Are you replaying old stories of struggle? Are you pre-playing future scenarios of disaster? Each of these is a counterfeit deposit. The mental action is to catch yourself in the act. Pause, breathe, and consciously replace the counterfeit thought with a golden one. Instead of "I can't afford this," the deposit becomes "I live in an abundant universe and money flows to me freely." This isn't lying to yourself, it is aligning yourself with a higher truth. This practice, repeated with diligence, does something miraculous. It does not just change your mood, it physically changes your brain. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. Every time you refuse a negative thought and choose an abundant one, you weaken the neural pathway associated with lack and strengthen the pathway associated with prosperity. You are literally, physically, rewiring your mind for wealth. The old worn-out paths of worry begin to wither from disuse, while new broad highways for abundance are paved. This is the scientific evidence behind the ancient spiritual instruction. You are not just thinking different thoughts. You are building a new brain that is biologically incapable of sustaining the old reality of struggle. Thus, the command to guard your heart is the ultimate act of self-love and self-responsibility. It is the recognition that no person, circumstance, or condition has the power to determine your financial reality without your mental consent. You have been given complete dominion over one thing in this universe, the content of your own consciousness. By exercising this dominion, by becoming the master gardener, the temple guardian, the meticulous bank manager of your mind, you cease to be a creature of circumstance and become the creator of your circumstances. This is the foundational work. This is the tilling of the soil and the selection of the seeds. It is the most important work you will ever do. Once this guarding of the heart is understood, we can move to the second part of the verse. For from it flow the well springs of life. What are these well springs, and how do they flow? This is where we bridge the ancient text to the modern understanding of vibrational frequency. The universe is not a collection of solid things. It is a dynamic ocean of energy and vibration. Everything, from the chair you are sitting on to the money you desire, is energy vibrating at a specific frequency. Your own being is a broadcasting tower, and the signal you are constantly sending out is determined by the dominant state of your guarded or unguarded heart. The secret here is that the well springs of life, the events, conditions, and material things that show up in your life, are not random. They are an exact and impersonal vibrational match to the signal you are broadcasting. A heart that is guarded, one that is deliberately programmed with thoughts and feelings of faith, certainty, and abundance, broadcasts a high, clear frequency. The universe, by its very law, must then orchestrate circumstances that resonate with that signal. Opportunities, unexpected checks, helpful people, and brilliant ideas, these are the well springs that must flow in response to a high-frequency broadcast. It is not magic. It is physics. It is the law of resonance in action. Conversely, an unguarded heart, one that is filled with the chaotic static of fear, doubt, and worry, broadcasts a low, incoherent frequency. This low-frequency signal can only attract experiences that vibrate at that same level. This is why, when you are worried about money, you often experience a cascade of negative financial events. The car breaks down, an unexpected bill arrives, a client pulls out. These are not punishments. They are simply the universe's well springs, reflecting your inner state back to you. The problem is not the events themselves, but the frequency that attracted them. Guarding your heart is the act of consciously and deliberately choosing the frequency you wish to broadcast. To make this tangible, imagine your mind is a powerful tuning fork. When you allow a thought of fear about paying your bills, you are striking that tuning fork with the hammer of scarcity. It begins to vibrate violently at the frequency of not enough. Like a magnet, it then pulls toward you all other energies and circumstances that are vibrating in sympathy with not enough. However, when you guard your mind and choose a thought of gratitude for the abundance you know is yours by divine right, you strike the tuning fork with the hammer of faith. It now sings a clear high note, the frequency of prosperity, and by law it must draw to itself the material substance and opportunities that match that beautiful, coherent song. The mental action, therefore, goes beyond simply managing your thoughts. It requires you to become the master of your emotional state, for emotion is thought amplified. It is the vibratory engine of your broadcast. The true art of guarding your heart is to learn to generate the feeling of your wish fulfilled even before it has manifested. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the serenity, the peace, the freedom, the gratitude of being completely financially secure. Can you generate that feeling in your body right now? That feeling is the prayer that is always answered. That feeling is you tuning your instrument to the frequency of miracles. This understanding transforms you from a passive victim into a powerful vibrational conductor. You realize that financial problems are not solid realities to be wrestled with. They are energetic signals you are receiving because of a signal you have been sending. To solve the problem, you do not attack it in the external world. That is exhausting and ineffective. Instead, you withdraw your attention from the problem, turn inward, and calmly, deliberately change the signal you are sending. You guard your heart from the fear the problem generates, and you choose to broadcast the frequency of the solution. By doing this, the problem, which is no longer being sustained by your energy, must dematerialize. This is why Solomon called it the wellspring. A spring doesn't struggle to produce water. It doesn't worry about whether it will have enough. It simply is, and because of its nature, water flows from it effortlessly and continuously. When you successfully guard your heart, filling it only with the truth of abundance, your consciousness becomes a wellspring of prosperity. You no longer have to chase money or opportunities. They now flow from you. You become the source point. Your very being emanates a frequency that organizes the world around you into a perfect reflection of the prosperity that you have cultivated and guarded within. This is a radical departure from the world's way of thinking. The world tells you to get the thing in order to feel the feeling. Get the money, then you will feel secure. Ancient wisdom instructs you to do the opposite. Generate the feeling of security first by guarding your heart and choosing your frequency, and the money must then appear as a natural consequence. This is the difference between creating from the outside in and creating from the inside out. One way leads to endless struggle, the other leads to effortless dominion. The choice of which path to follow is, and always has been, entirely yours. Now we arrive at the third and final stage of our decoding, the practical application. How, in our daily lives, do we perform this sacred act of guarding the heart and setting our frequency? The ancient masters called it prayer and meditation. Napoleon Hill codified it into a precise technology he called auto-suggestion. We will call it the decreto, or the daily decree. This is the tool you will use to consciously and deliberately impress your chosen beliefs upon the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, the tool that allows you to become the master programmer of your reality. A decree is not the same as a weak, hopeful affirmation. An affirmation often feels like you are trying to convince yourself of something you don't believe. I am wealthy, when you feel poor, can create inner conflict. A decree, however, is different. It is a formal declaration of spiritual truth, spoken from a place of authority. It is you as a spiritual being announcing how things are in your reality, regardless of temporary appearances in the physical world. It is a statement of command, an alignment of your personal will with the universal will of abundance for all. The secret to making the decree work lies in the marriage of words and feeling. The subconscious mind is not moved by words alone, it is moved by emotion. When you speak your decree, you must infuse it with the powerful emotion of it already being true. This is the key that unlocks the gate to the subconscious. Repeating words mechanically is like trying to plant plastic seeds in your garden. Nothing will grow. But speaking the words while simultaneously feeling the joy, gratitude, and certainty of their fulfillment, that is like planting a supercharged living seed that the subconscious must accept and bring to life. Let's use the metaphor of a sculptor. Your subconscious mind is a vast, beautiful block of unformed marble. Your current life is the raw state of that marble. Your desire, a life of peace and prosperity, is the finished masterpiece that exists as a potential within the stone. Your daily decree is the chisel and the hammer. Every morning and every evening, when you speak your decree with feeling and conviction, you are picking up your tools. You are chipping away a piece of the old reality of lack. You are carving out the details of your new reality of abundance. It is through this consistent, focused application of the decree that the masterpiece is revealed. So, what is the mental action? It is to create and commit to your daily decree. For our purposes, we will use the master key itself, the very mantra that encapsulates this entire teaching. The decree is this: I guard my mind, for from it flow the springs of my prosperity. You are to find a quiet time, first thing upon waking and last thing before sleeping, the two times when the veil between the conscious and subconscious mind is thinnest. You will repeat this decree not as a plea, but as a statement of fact, a reminder of your true power. As you speak the words, I guard my mind, visualize a golden shield of light surrounding your consciousness, allowing only thoughts of love and abundance to enter. Feel the sense of impenetrable peace and security this brings. Then, as you speak the words, for from it flow the springs of my prosperity, visualize a brilliant, effortless stream of opportunities, wealth and well-being flowing from your heart center out into your world. Feel the joy and the gratitude of this endless supply. Do not just say the words, live them, feel them, become them in those sacred moments. This practice is your primary work. It takes precedence over checking your email, over reading the news, over all the busy work that fills your day. This is the work that actually creates your world. By starting and ending your day in this state of conscious command, you are setting the vibrational tone for your experience. You are instructing your subconscious mind on what reality to build for you while you sleep and while you go about your day. You are no longer leaving your creation to chance. You are becoming a deliberate, conscious architect of your life. Over time, this decree will cease to be something you do and will become something you are. It will saturate your subconscious mind so completely that it becomes your automatic assumption about life. Your default state will shift from worry to peace, from lack to abundance. You will find yourself naturally making better financial decisions. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. You will notice problems seeming to solve themselves before they reach you. This is the sign that your inner world, your guarded heart, has been successfully reprogrammed. This daily decree is your declaration of spiritual sovereignty. It is you standing in your power as a co-creator with the divine and formally announcing that you are now ready, willing, and able to accept your birthright of unlimited abundance, peace, and security. You are no longer begging the universe for scraps from its table. You are remembering that you are the heir to the entire kingdom, and you are beginning to act like it. This is the ultimate purpose of the ancient command, to awaken you to the incredible creative power that has been sleeping within your own heart all along. The convergence of Solomon's wisdom and Hill's science is therefore complete. Guard your heart is the ancient call to program your subconscious mind. For from it flow the springs of life is the timeless explanation of the law of vibrational attraction, and the decree or auto-suggestion is the proven, practical technology to achieve this transformation. This is not a theory. This is a formula. It has worked for the wisest and wealthiest throughout history, and it is available to you right now. The only variable is your willingness to apply it with faith and persistence. Imagine yourself waking up tomorrow morning, but this time something is profoundly different. The moment your consciousness returns, you are not met with the familiar cold wave of anxiety or the instant mental checklist of problems and obligations. Instead, there is a deep, resonant stillness. A quiet calm permeates your being. It is the feeling of unshakable certainty, the inner knowing that all is well, that you are divinely protected and abundantly provided for. This is not a fleeting mood. It is your new default state of being. It is the peace that comes from finally understanding that your mind is not a battlefield of worry, but a sacred fortress of power which you command completely. From this place of inner peace, your entire world begins to reconfigure itself around you. Your mind, no longer consumed by the static of fear, becomes a clear and powerful receiver for divine intelligence. Solutions to long-standing problems appear effortlessly. Brilliant ideas, perfectly aligned with your purpose, download into your awareness. People and opportunities that are a perfect vibrational match to your new frequency are drawn to you as if by an invisible magnetic force. This is because you are no longer trying to manipulate the effects in the outer world. You have gone directly to the cause, your consciousness, and from that guarded, sacred center, you are now conducting a symphony of prosperity and grace without strain or effort. The constant low-level hum of financial anxiety that has been the soundtrack to your life for so long simply fades away into silence. In its place, a new feeling arises, an active, operational faith. This is not a passive hope that things will get better. It is the powerful, creative certainty that you are the one making them better from the inside out. The fear of the future, that heavy ghost that has haunted your nights and stolen your joy, is replaced by a serene and confident anticipation for the good that is on its way. You begin to walk through your days with a new posture, a new light in your eyes, the quiet confidence of a master who knows the rules of the game and is finally playing it to win. This vision is not a fantasy. It is your birthright, waiting to be claimed, but it requires a decision, a clear and unequivocal commitment, made here and now. The knowledge has been shared. The key has been placed in your hand. You can choose to leave this moment and allow the world to once again seed your mind with its chaos and limitation, or you can draw a line in the sand of your own consciousness and declare that the old way of living is over. This is your point of virada, your turning point. It is the moment you stop seeking for a savior outside of yourself and finally acknowledge the Creator that resides within you. From this day forward, declare this to your very soul. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are not defined by your past, by your bank account, or by the opinions of others. You are the supreme sovereign guardian of your mind. You are the master gardener of your soul. You and you alone hold the authority to decide which thoughts you will entertain and which beliefs you will accept as your reality. You are the conductor of your energetic orchestra, and from this moment on, you choose to play only the music of abundance, of peace, and of divine order. This is your new identity. Claim it now. Do not let this wisdom become just another interesting video you once watched. Let it be the moment your transformation truly began. Meditate on this truth. Take this sacred command from Proverbs and let it sink from your head into your heart, into the very marrow of your bones, until it becomes your living, breathing reality. Your work is not to struggle and strive in the outer world. Your primary sacred duty is to build this inner fortress of faith, to guard the gate of your mind with unwavering diligence. Make this your most important daily practice, the foundation upon which you will build your new life. As you commit to this practice, the sources of your life will begin to transform. What was once a mere trickle of scarcity, a constant struggle to have enough, will slowly and surely swell into a powerful, majestic river of abundance. This river, flowing directly from your guarded heart, will nourish every area of your life. It will wash away old debts and limitations and carve new channels of opportunity and prosperity. You will not have to force it. You will only have to allow it by maintaining your inner state of grace and dominion. This is your destiny. This is the truth of your being. So now, take this decree and make it your own. Let it be the first words you speak to the universe in the morning and the last words that seal your consciousness at night. Let it become the unwavering mantra of your new existence, the ultimate truth that guides you back to your power whenever the old world of fear attempts to reclaim you. Remember the sacred code, the key to your kingdom, the law of your new life. I guard my mind, for from it flow the springs of my prosperity.